full speech, my friends. So often, when we look at the lives of successful people, all we see is the highlight reel. We see the medals. We see the trophies. We see the headlines, the applause, the recognition. But what we don't see are the late nights, the disappointments, the moments when doors were slammed shut, the times they were told, "You're not good enough. You can't make it. You will never succeed." When we look at the people who stand on the stage of history, who sit in the seats of influence, who build empires and inspire generations, we usually see the polished image they present today. We see the applause they receive, the rewards they hold, the prestige they command. But what we often miss, what is hidden behind the curtain of success, is the long journey of trial and error, of sweat and sacrifice, of rejection and ridicule that paved the way to that moment of triumph. We forget that every skyscraper once began with a shaky foundation, every masterpiece was preceded by rough sketches, and every triumphant march was preceded by countless stumbles. The truth is, success rarely happens in a straight line. It comes after zigzags, detours, and unexpected turns. It comes after moments when people doubted themselves, after days when they questioned whether they had the strength to continue, after nights when the weight of failure seemed unbearable. Behind every smile of accomplishment is a history of tears, of struggle, of self-doubt that was overcome, often quietly when no one was watching. The spotlight blinds us to the shadows that came before it, but those shadows are what gave the light its meaning. And this is why failure must never be misunderstood. Too often, people treat it like an enemy, a sign that they are not meant to succeed, a final verdict on their ability or worth. But failure is not the opposite of success. It is woven into its very fabric. Every stumble on the path forward is a lesson hidden in disguise, a teacher dressed in hardship. It is through failure that we discover the limits of our current abilities, and it is through those discoveries that we grow beyond them. Without falling short, without being tested, without confronting disappointment, we would never develop the resilience required to achieve anything great. Think about the first steps a child takes. They fall again and again before they learn how to balance. Those falls are not signs that the child will never walk. They are the very process by which walking becomes possible. The same is true of every dream, every ambition, every pursuit. Failure is the rehearsal room of greatness. It is the laboratory where strength is forged. It is the fire that tempers our spirit until it is unbreakable. The pain of failure may sting, but that sting carries wisdom, wisdom that teaches us what not to repeat, wisdom that sharpens our instincts, wisdom that reveals a better way forward. Every great achievement we celebrate today is built upon a foundation of rejection, setbacks, and disappointment. The authors whose books sit on our shelves once collected letters from publishers telling them their work was not good enough. The innovators who changed the world with their inventions once faced ridicule for their ideas, dismissed as foolish dreamers. The leaders who stand as symbols of courage and progress once heard the word no. So many times it could have broken their spirit. But instead of allowing rejection to close the door, they chose to push harder against it. Instead of letting a loss define them, they used it as fuel to keep going. Rejection, failure, and defeat are not the end of the story. They are the beginning. When someone tells you that you are not capable, you are faced with a choice to accept their verdict or to write your own. The ones who rise, the ones we remember, are those who refuse to let others decide their destiny. They faced doors slammed in their faces, opportunities taken from them, and critics who doubted every step, yet they kept knocking, they kept walking, they kept striving, until the same world that rejected them had no choice but to recognize them. Failure, though painful, carries lessons that success alone can never teach. When everything goes right, when the road is smooth, we celebrate the moment, but we rarely stop to analyze why it worked. Success feels good, but it can make us complacent. It can lull us into the belief that we've already mastered everything we need. Failure, on the other hand, refuses to let us rest. It forces us to ask questions. It makes us confront our weaknesses, study our mistakes, and search for answers we would have ignored if everything had gone according to plan. Character is not built in moments of ease. It is built when the ground shakes beneath us. Resilience is not discovered when life runs smoothly. It is discovered in the hours when we fall to our knees, and we must summon the will to rise again. Failure strips away the illusion of perfection and teaches humility. It reminds us that greatness is never guaranteed, that it must be earned and re-earned through effort, persistence, and a willingness to learn. The real difference between those who give up and those who rise lies not in talent alone, not in luck, not even in opportunity. It lies in courage and persistence. Many people possess talent, many have intelligence, and many are given chances, but talent without perseverance fades, intelligence without determination stalls, and opportunity without effort vanishes. The ones who rise above failure are those who decide, in the quiet moments when no one is watching, to keep moving forward when everything in them feels like stopping. It takes courage to continue after being knocked down. It takes courage to risk another rejection after already hearing no 100 times. It takes courage to invest your energy in a dream when the world tells you it's impossible. And persistence is the fuel that keeps that courage alive. Persistence is waking up each day and choosing to try again, even if yesterday ended in disappointment. Persistence is refusing to let one closed door convince you that there are no doors left to open. Persistence is believing that every step forward, no matter how small, matters. And in the end, what truly defines us is not failure itself, but our response to it. Your failures do not define you. What defines you is how you choose to respond to them. Every one of us will stumble. Every one of us will fall short. Every one of us will encounter moments where life doesn't go the way we planned. But those moments are not the final word on who we are. They are chapters, not the whole book. They are tests, not the verdict. The defining measure of a person is not the number of times they have failed, but the number of times they refuse to let failure be the end of their story. When failure comes, as it always does, the question is not, why me? The real question is, what now? Will you let this setback define you, or will you define yourself by how you rise? Will you let the weight of mistakes bury you, or will you stand taller because of the lessons they taught you? The truth is, failure only has as much power as you give it. If you treat it as the end, it will be the end. But if you treat it as a beginning, it will open doors you never imagined, and that choice, how you respond, how you fight back, how you move forward, that is what will define your life. And so, my friends, when you walk away from this moment, remember this: success is not reserved for the chosen few. It is not written only for the most talented or the most fortunate. It belongs to those who dare, and those who stumble, those who rise, and those who keep going when the world tells them to stop. Failure is not the enemy. It is the teacher, the sculptor, the fire that shapes us into something stronger. If you have fallen, stand up. If you have been told no, try again. If you have lost your way, find the courage to take the next step. Because the measure of your life will not be the times you avoided failure, but the times you chose to rise above it. Let us be the kind of people who are not defined by what broke us, but by what we built from the pieces. Let us be the kind of people who do not fear failure, but who use it as fuel to climb higher. And let us never forget that if others before us could fall and rise, and rise again until they stood in the light of success, so can we